Guten Tagen, Tagen Wagen. Yes. So we're gonna be looking at oh shit. We're gonna be looking at Alternative Futures World episode 12. Episode 11 has been doing really bad, even though I released it like, I think maybe a day or two ago. I expected it to get like maybe 100 views, but no, right now it's at like 20. But I'm gonna do episode 12, but because I'm an idiot, I'm not gonna let episode 11 like get the views it needs, and instead just go into episode 12. Anyways, we're continuing level 3 here. So first thing in this in this next episode, Chinese forces continue to move. Oh fuck. The CSTO forces continue to move up Taiwan, but suffer large amounts of casualties as many Taiwan citizens take up arms to defend the nation. But eventually, they're pushed up to the very tip of their capital, or at least the tip of the capital. They they capture some Japanese islands. However, they aren't able to capture the more like much more northern islands that are closer to the mainland. They 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 start sending ships over to the Philippines and start bombarding the coast, but they don't make a landing. Chinese forces begin to push into northern Vietnam and also northern Thailand. However, Thai troops continue their push into Myanmar, capturing the Panhandle, and Vietnam and Thailand um, also captured the Panhandle of Laos, but they don't move much further. We have a new front opening up in the war. This is the African front. There are already African countries in the war, but it's not really. But these guys are just helping out and helped invade the island. But now there's a new front with this Boko Rebellion country. Please comment a name for it. Joins the war, and then Nigeria and Chad, who lost a lot of land from. Hmm, actually, wait, no, just Nigeria joins. Nigeria, who lost a lot of pretty valuable land. Like they lost some valuable land from this rebellion, and they joined the war. Well, more they just kind of declared war on each other, but still. So Niger begins to push into the Boko Rebellion, and they begin to capture their land back. How this Boko Rebellion thing pushes down to Benin and starts to capture even more vital territory. Over on their over on the Russian front, comrades, the communist forces continue to push into central Russia, and they're starting to get to more vital territories, and central Russian government goes on a defense. Except in Mongolia, where they continue to advance until China stops them. Over in North Korea, Chinese troops begin to push back both communist Russian troops. That's why communist countries are at war with another communist country. Eastern Russia is a very complicated nation, and and they liberate Pyongyang. However, not without lots of casualties. Kazakhstan with funding from NATO members begins to push back the central Russian invasion. It actually completely pushes out. However, they aren't able to push out due to limited military and also fortress. Over in the Muz. No. I forget the name of this place. Hold on. The Middle Eastern Front. Iranian and Pakistani reinforcements allow Iraq to push back against Saudi Arabia and Turkey. However, the mountainous terrain doesn't allow them to push much further. We begin to see Myanmar beginning to crumble more and more under the invasion as they lose their coast and tens of thousands of soldiers march through their nation. we have the Eastern Russia funding a revolution up here. This is technically Manchuria, but not all of Manchuria. Just like a bit of what China wasn't actively defending, and this allows Russian forces and Manchurian forces to much more easily push through. However, they leave this front undemanded. Did I say undemanded? I don't know. And they begin to push into the few vital port areas that Eastern Russia has, which leads them to leave all this to Manchuria, which, in case you don't know, that leaving the offences to a newly formed nation that isn't even fully formed and is more of just a rebellion doesn't really end good, but they actually hold out decently well. They managed to finally defeat Taiwan, but with like hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of casualties, and they capture this Japanese island here. However, the Japanese Navy completely destroys any naval vessels attempting to land on the island. With most of the Filipino coast now bombarded and weakened, they make a landing on the northern island, however meet fierce resistance against the Filipino military. We we have the Boko Rebellion Nation, once again please call my name, pushing out the Nigerian forces. Well, yeah, they push out the Nigerian forces, however, other than that, no major offenses are made. Got what? There we go. China, China helps their allies push push out push out the blue team and make a counteroffensive against India, kind of reviving Myanmar. But in Laos they do a lot better, retaking the capital and launching a major invasion into Thailand, which does very well considering this is a large amount of the Chinese military against poor Thailand. However, Vietnamese supplies are entering through this part of Laos they still occupy. Um, China makes a landing on this Filipino island, capturing it, and what kind of hell is that? And launching some sneaky island campaigns. They kind of besiege the capital. I don't know the name of the capital, but I know it's about here. However, the Philippines is quick to react, and they push back China and push them to this island and this northern tip. From the northern tip, they push a bit more out, but not too far. Eventually, the Eastern Russia and NATO agree that they need to take out Central Russia and in order to focus on stronger countries like China. So they value a large amount of their military. For Eastern Russia, it's just anyone who's not defending the vital territories, and launch an invasion of anything that remains of Eastern Russia, like all their populated centers. The push through the southern area is hard and violent and leads to tens of thousands of deaths, but eventually the coast is captured. The Caspian coast is captured, and they begin to break down Central Russia into pockets of resistance, many of which fall quite easily. And about a month after said massive invasion of Central Russia started, this is what the map looks like, with these northern, more icy pockets surrendering or being defeated quite easily, while these more southern ones put up a decent fight before eventually being defeated. And now Central Russia is kind of out of the war, except for this Mongolian holdout. And talking about that, declares oh, what? It declares independence. However, then China, again,